welcome back. I know it's been a little while. I've had a cold for like a week and a half or so, and we had the holidays and everything else going on. Not making excuses, but yeah, I haven't been out here. And, you know, it's like freezing now out here. The weather has definitely changed, but we have this crusty little CB350 4-cylinder. I have removed the tank and the seat, and that's pretty much all I've done. This wire, which is green, is a ground, so I believe it goes over here, so I'll have to hook that up. What I want to do today is I want to put the battery in. I did get a new battery for it, and I want to start checking the charging on it. Not charging, I'm sorry. Checking the electrical system on it. What else I did is I started to see if this chrome would clean up. So that's what it did look like on that half and this half. I cleaned this up, which as you can see on that side I haven't done yet. Kind of did that half of the fender too. So it is cleaning up some. Kind of cleaned this side up, but didn't do this side just to compare. This headlight ring, somebody's like taking a Scotch-Brite pad to this in the fender. It's not great. You can see it's got scratches going this way and then this way. So somebody tried to clean this thing up, but ended up scratching it. They used the wrong stuff on it. All right, so I'm going to start by putting a battery in and making sure there's no shorts in this bike before we hook it up. And I'll be right back. Okay, so you've probably seen me do this before. I have the positive terminal hooked up to the battery, but not the negative. And I have a voltmeter out. So what I'm going to do is take the two leads, touch one to the negative side of the battery, and the other to the cable. And I'm showing 0.03 volts. Okay, so why that's important is because it should be reading like that. So when I hook this battery up, if something's shorted out, it won't be going through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the key on. And now I'm going to do it again. Battery and cable. And you're going to see that there's a 13 volt draw, meaning something is on. Not only is something on, so I just shut it back off again. So I'm back down to 0.3. Not only that, if you had a shorted wire, so we'll put one end of this jumper wire on the positive, and we'll put the other end of this alligator clip on somewhere ground, like the engine. So now if you had your positive wire shorted out somewhere and you went to connect this cable, you could fry the harness, something electrical. So we'll test it again. And I don't have a good connection to something ground, maybe. And there we go. We're at another about 13 volts again. So if I connected this cable up right now, it would probably burn this wire right up. But knowing that we don't have anything shorted out right now, we're good to connect that battery. And with our Mighty Max battery connected, let's go over here and hope that when we turn the key on, nothing fries itself. See what we got. Okay, we have an oil light, which is good. We have a headlight. Let's see. Oh, high and low. Okay. The high beam indicator here doesn't work. No neutral light. Turns on, but not flashing, and that's probably because it doesn't have front signal lights on it. It needs a certain amount of resistance to flash. Is this bike in neutral? Yeah, it sure feels like it. All right. So we either have a bad bulb here and here, or we have bad neutral switch or wiring for that and that. But how about tail light? You got tail light? We do. Let's check our brake lights. Nothing with the front, but that works on pressure, and we have absolutely no pressure in there. The rear works. All right, so electrically, it's there. We could check for power at our coils. Let's see if we have that. I'm not going to hit the starter yet. That has another position, which I believe is just the tail light, which it is. And of course, this lens is cracked. Why wouldn't it be? All right, let's turn this off. Let's turn the headlights off so we don't kill our battery. And let me get a test light and we'll check for voltage at the coils. These should be the wires. One for the right coil, one for the left. One coil does plugs 2 and 3. One coil does plugs 1 and 4. Nothing on that one, which wouldn't be the power. It would be this one. And let's turn the key on. Okay, so we do have power that will feed this coil. And the reason I said that this one wouldn't be power is because when they're unplugged, you wouldn't have power on an exposed terminal like that. You'd have it on the one that's covered. So if it did touch something ground, it wouldn't short out. All right, so we have power at the coils. That's a good sign too. What I want to do next, get the key off again, is I want to see if I can get these plugs out. Because if I can't, if they're stuck in the head, that could be a real problem. Plugs on these. Don't take your traditional 5/8 or 11/16 spark plug sockets. They take an 18 millimeter. And I have one, but I had to buy it specifically for this because I didn't have one. So let me grab that and see if they'll come out. I heard you needed like a thin wall socket for these. I don't know. I got this on, oh, that one's loose. I got this one on Amazon, so see, we'll see how this these plugs were going the last time it ran. Let's hope there's not a lot of rust or anything on the bottom of them. Black. And, I mean, the electrodes are good. It's the right plug. DADA. You know, black, but not bad shape. Oh, loose. I mean, this is the same as the last bike I did, or the Yamaha too. They were loose, which was a godsend. Not loose, but, you know, not super tight where I had to fight them out. Yeah, that one looks pretty decent. Let's do the other side. I said, I don't know when this bike ran, and the guy that sold it to me didn't know when this bike ran last either. So this is the story I got, because I never get a good history on any of these bikes. And maybe if I did get it from a one-owner guy, he'd be all emotionally attached to it, and it'd probably cost me a lot more for the bike. So he was looking for a motorcycle, a specific motorcycle. which I believe was an XS650. And he found one for sale that this gentleman had. And this gentleman was kind of like done with motorcycles. He was at that age where he was getting rid of everything. So he told him that the only way he would sell the bike, that one's a little leaner, but still not bad. The only way he would sell the bike is if the guy I got it from would take everything. Going out of business sale, like. So there was 3 bikes in the package, a bunch of spare parts, all that, and they made a deal, and this bike was part of the deal. He didn't want this bike. This wasn't why he went there. So he really didn't care about it, didn't know anything about it, just, if I gotta take it, I gotta take it. That was not bad, too. So, yeah, he took it as part of the deal and then just wanted to dump it off. Get rid of it. Let it be somebody else's problem. That's where I come in. So as part of that deal, yeah, he had to take the motor, the front forks, all that stuff. And yeah, so, you know, by right, then I had to take all that stuff too, whether I wanted it or not. But that's okay. I mean, like I said, he had no emotional attachment to it, so if he wanted to get rid of it, that was fine by me. He just wanted off his property. And that's kind of how I came into possession of it. All right, so we got the plugs out. Let's take these caps off here. It was nice that it had these to prevent anything from getting in there. These, they're going to be a nightmare, aren't they? I've watched a few videos online about people rebuilding these, and it seems like every time they rebuild them and put them back on the bike, you got 1 or 2 that leaks. So when I get done rebuilding them, I'm not going to put them back on the bike. I'm going to test them before I put them back on the bike, because I'm not going to go through all that hassle just to take them back off again. And yeah, the throttle's stuck. Which is, you know, part of the experience, right? All right, plugs out. It's been kicked over a few times, I know that. Shall we see if the starter works? Let's try that. Well, and the other thing I always forget to check is the horn, so let's check the horn too. Got the key on. Oh, I have a horn that works. All right, let's see if the starter works. Good news. Cranks the engine over. Doesn't crank it over slow, so that's a good sign, because, you know, I do have the plugs out. I suppose I could do a compression test. You're supposed to do it when the engine's warm, and obviously that's not going to happen. Throttle wide open. Well, I don't have carbs on it. I don't know if I have the correct fittings, though, to go into this size plug. I guess I could check that, see if I have those. Just my luck. My kit did come with a whole assortment of stuff, so I guess I'll be testing it. It even comes with one of these nice little spark testers. Unfortunately, all the bikes I have, you have to take the tips off. So that's not going to work. But anyway, let's get this compression tester set up. Number 1, big money. Let's go. All right, not big money. About 80. Might be okay, seeing as, like I said, it's not warm. I didn't put any oil in it, and it's been sitting. Let's see if they're all even, or if there's a big difference between them all. We're hoping that they're all about the same, which would mean, you know, no internal engine issues. And let's hope that that end I put on stays on this hose when I do this. Because if it comes off, then that means I gotta get down in there somehow to get it back out again. All right, there we go. All right, that one's about 100. Took a while to get there. That's connected to number 3. Could do the old oil down the cylinder if we wanted to. Okay. 60, huh? Well, that's not promising. One more to go. That went up quick to about, well, a little over 100, maybe 105 or so. Okay, so we have a couple that are a little low. We have some oil in here. Can't tell if it's coming out. Put a little in cylinder 3 and we'll try that again. Maybe this is the reason for the spare motor. I don't know if I change a whole motor just for that. Here we go. Went up a little bit. Still low. So, could be something sticking the valve from sitting. Could be the valves are too tight. Could be rings. Yeah. Now, I can hear it now. All you people screaming. Do a cylinder leak down test. You'll know exactly what's happening. And if this were a customer's bike and I was at a shop and I had to give them a quote and I wanted to know if it were rings, valves, blah, 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 head gasket, whatever, I would do a leak down test. It's not a customer's bike. This is my bike. So does it matter what it is? I mean, if it's got to come apart, it's got to come apart, right? So does it really matter at this point? I ran into a similar issue with that bike where it had low compression and people were telling me to do a leak down test on it, and I didn't. And we figured it out, even though people were telling me it was valves and all this. I really like the look at that front end now. I'm getting really fond of that. Ended up being rings so big you could drive a truck through them. Runs good now. This one had 100 PSI, if I remember correctly. And once I got it started, which didn't take much effort, the compression came back and everything else. It was just, I think, what happens is they sit so long, the valves are open, they make a little rust on the faces, and once you start them, they clean them up. But this one's got lower compression than the Yamaha had. Probably about the same as one of the cylinders in that bike. Well, I did buy a complete gasket and seal kit for this. Just anticipating that something like this may happen. I do not want to have to open this crankcase up. I don't mind taking the cylinders and the head and all that off. I just don't feel like doing the bottom end. Well, you know, I always say that. And the Yamaha, the gold one, I didn't have to do it to. This one I did, that one I did, the XS2 I did, the Honda CB350 I did. But, well, we know a lot of the electrical works, which is a good thing. I suppose I should shut the key off. Where's my neutral light? Ugh. Oh, no, the neutral light is on now. Was it on before? I didn't think it was. My high beam's still not on. All right. Yeah. So we know we got power at the coils. We know it cranks over. We don't know if it has spark. I suppose I could check that too while we're here. Okay, key on, lights off. I don't know if you could see it, but we do have spark. On both. 1 and 2, meaning coils. Both coils work. Oh, he's getting exciting. And I don't think it's going to take much to get this running. Just running. I will have to check those valves to see if they're tight. I couldn't be that lucky though. That's going to be the issue. But I will pull the caps off of number 3 to find out. So unfortunately, no. That one's got clearance and that one's got clearance. Therefore, it's not a over-tightened valve. Will these cylinders come back on their own? We don't know. Should we see if it'll run at some point and then see if they'll come back on their own first before we tear the whole thing down? I mean, we could do that, but that would require rebuilding those. So maybe that'll be next episode. And for now, I'll just leave it like this. I've got to get that air conditioning out of here and maybe get my heater in here. It's not too bad today, but it is supposed to be, bad. If you've noticed that there's a tire sitting here, brand new tire, that is for the XS2. When I went to put that away, take it up to get gas, I don't know what happened to that tire, but it was doing one of those and the rim was going straight, but the tire wasn't. So it had plenty of air in it. It's just age, something let go in it. I think I'll disconnect the old Mighty Max battery for the night just in case. It's low on oil, but there is oil in there. It had a leak when I got it. The drain plug gasket was leaking. It needed to be tightened even more than it was. He said it had an oil leak. Well, he said one of the bikes he got had an oil leak. He says he didn't know which one it was. As soon as we put this in the back of my truck, we knew which one it was. Yeah, so far, so good. I mean, no super bad issues that I found other than, cosmetic, a lot of rust, stuff like that. I'll keep working at that and see what parts I can get. All right, well, hope you've enjoyed this episode. Give a like, leave a comment, and thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.